I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
Things just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing X, Y, Z.
You always wonder, well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So.
Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith points out Canelo Alvarez's noticeably bigger frame ahead of his bout with Terence Crawford, suggesting it brings up questions about how the size gap might influence a fight. While he credits Crawford as a more skilled boxer, Smith cautions that if Crawford's punches don't carry enough power to trouble Canelo, the matchup could become dangerous for him. His comments emphasize a concern over size differences and how they might shape the outcome of this much-awaited showdown.
You know what? I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
Eddie Reynoso, the longtime trainer of Canelo Alvarez, recently responded to ongoing allegations linking him to performance-enhancing substances in boxing. Over the years, some critics have accused him of either supplying or permitting banned products within his camp, but Reynoso has repeatedly dismissed these claims. According to him, his boxers, including Canelo, handle their own nutrition and dietary routines without his involvement. He emphasized that, especially with the upcoming Crawford clash drawing attention, such rumors tend to resurface whenever a fighter shows noticeable growth in strength or physique. Reynoso clarified that his responsibility lies in coaching, improving technique, and building mental toughness, while distancing himself from any role in supplements or nutrition management.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snack. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hyperbolic change. Get Nello on Snack. Hey, brother, Nello on Snack with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt, brother, please.
Although Eddie Reynoso has trained multiple boxers, some reports say around 7, who at different points tested positive for banned substances, he insists this should not be linked to Canelo Alvarez. Reynoso stresses that every situation must be judged separately, since fighters themselves are accountable for whatever they consume. Speaking about Canelo, he emphasizes that the champion has consistently followed a clean regimen and takes extra caution regarding both his diet and supplements.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's conditioning coach has issued a strong prediction ahead of the blockbuster showdown with Canelo Alvarez. With full confidence, he stated that Crawford is ready to punish Canelo and that the entire camp has left no stone unturned in preparation. His remarks reflect the team's belief that Crawford's power, discipline, and tireless training will be enough to counter both Canelo's size and his ring experience. The coach stressed that their game plan is carefully designed, focusing on strength as well as endurance, ensuring Crawford can compete with Canelo in every aspect. These bold claims have only intensified the pre-fight hype, sparking debate among fans about whether Crawford's power at a heavier weight class will truly be enough to challenge a veteran champion like Canelo.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Some experts suggest that the size of the ring could play a crucial role in determining the outcome of this matchup. In a standard size ring, Crawford would have more room to rely on his agility, speed, and footwork to keep Canelo from closing in. History shows that Canelo has often been troubled by opponents who use distance and constant side-to-side movement, much like his defeat against Dmitry Bivol. Fighters who refuse to stand in front of him and instead make him chase tend to break his rhythm and limit his effectiveness. If the ring setup gives Crawford the space to maneuver, his ability to control the tempo and dictate the exchanges grows substantially. On the other hand, if Canelo manages to cut off the ring and close the distance, the fight could quickly turn into a far more physical contest.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he gonna get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dogfight with Canelo. No, I think he gonna whoop his ass off.
Veteran commentator Jim Gray has shared his thoughts on the upcoming showdown, describing it as a clash between two fighters with remarkable legacies. He applauded Canelo Alvarez for maintaining elite performances across several weight classes, while also giving full recognition to Terence Crawford for his dominance in his own division. Gray's fair assessment highlights the level of respect both champions hold in the sport. He noted that this contest represents more than just championship belts. It's a fight that could define their legacies, with both men aiming to cement their place in boxing history.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So I don't know how that combination ends up. The weight difference, Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame, and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge night for boxing for the world to see.
One follow-up. Do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Respected trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced serious doubts about Crawford's chances, emphasizing the clear size disparity between the two fighters. Sanchez explained that weight classes exist for a reason. While skill is vital, natural size and strength often tip the balance. He believes Canelo's power at his natural division presents a huge challenge for Crawford, who is stepping up in weight to face him. In Sanchez's view, even with Crawford's exceptional ability, overcoming the physical disadvantages in this matchup will be an uphill battle.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division, and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. You talk about a guy in Canelo who's really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo is dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions,
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night, my friend?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3 years.
Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. offered his perspective, saying that in matchups like this, the naturally larger fighter often holds the advantage, which would seemingly favor Canelo Alvarez. At the same time, Lennon pointed out that Canelo hasn't appeared as dominant in some of his recent performances, which could give Crawford an opening. His balanced analysis implies that while size is an important factor, current form and tactical execution may ultimately decide the outcome.
For the super fight in September, how do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, with the Crawford moving up, he was a 135-pound champion. They had 40, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54 is 68 too much. That's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and two fighters in the pound from down west, getting it on. That's nice for boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But if he does it, you always wonder, will people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had not enough? That there might be an excuse for that. So, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be...
Undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson has voiced strong faith in Terence Crawford's skill set. He referred to Crawford as the best in his division and insisted that his remarkable abilities are enough to handle even a bigger, stronger opponent like Canelo Alvarez. Stevenson's endorsement carries weight given his own proven talent and credibility in the sport. His remarks highlight the respect Crawford enjoys among elite fighters and support the belief that size alone won't determine the winner. Many in the boxing world share this perspective, viewing Crawford as a genuine threat despite the size gap, which makes this clash one of the most intriguing and highly awaited matchups in modern boxing.
When you first heard about this idea, when you first heard about it, what did you think of this idea of Bud going up to 68 to fight Canelo?
I ain't gonna lie, I've been putting it out since, I want to say, when he fought Sean Porter. Like back then, if you go watch, it's an interview out there. I had said I think that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez right after he fought Sean Porter. So the idea, I've been thinking about it. I've been saying it before Bud even was saying it.
Why were you saying it then? Like that was what, a few years ago? Was he 160 or 168 at that point? But why did you believe then that was the right fight?
Because I just knew, like, as far as in that weight class, Terence Crawford is like the greatest. So I just feel as though with Canelo's style, and like the style of boxing that he got, I think and this is before Bivol did it, but I thought like Terence Crawford was the only guy who I felt as though could have beat Canelo with his style.
So tell me if you think I'm wrong here. Like, I might have been more confident after the Spence fight when he threw a lot of right hands in that fight, was aggressive. Against Madrimov, he didn't throw a lot of right hands in that fight. And I've been saying for years that the only way to beat Canelo Alvarez is throw right hands. Gennady Golovkin did it, almost beat him, should have beat him the first time around. Dmitry Bivol did it in their fight. Other guys tend to try to jab him to death. I don't think you can win fights jabbing.
I disagree with you.
That's not surprising at all.
Former champion Sean Porter has shared detailed insights on Terence Crawford's recent physical development as he prepares for Canelo Alvarez. After seeing Crawford up close, Porter observed that his legs looked noticeably stronger, thicker, and well-balanced, suggesting focused lower body training. He highlighted that Crawford's added weight seems evenly spread, with no imbalance between upper and lower body, evidence of disciplined nutrition and conditioning. Porter also remarked that despite the extra size, Crawford's speed and agility appear unaffected, which is impressive when moving up in weight. In his view, being able to maintain quickness while adding strength could give Crawford a key edge against Canelo, especially if he uses his movement to neutralize the Mexican star's power and size. Porter's assessment reinforces a belief that Crawford's team has followed a calculated and disciplined plan to maximize his performance on fight night.
Now, you guys, one reason you give Crawford a good chance at winning this fight is talking about Canelo has to have his feet set to deliver his power shots. Crawford making him pick his feet up. At 38 years old, putting on 14 pounds to go from 54 to 68, 38 years old, do you think his legs will be able to have the advantage that people that are picking him and thinking he could win this fight, will they have the advantage that they believe he will have at 38, putting on 14 pounds to those legs?
I looked at my business partner Malcolm while we were there. I said, "Yo, look at his legs." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." I said, "They're thick. They're in shape. They look very strong." If anybody out there that want to act funny about what I just said, that's my job as a former athlete, as an analyst. I have to analyze everything, right? So I have to analyze how's his weight now distributed across your body.
His body, right?
Is it distributed a little too much right here in the midsection? Are the legs too thick? And now I'm not seeing the muscle pop and things of that nature. The dude is doing all of the right things. They have something called the incline in Colorado Springs. So just in case you don't know, Colorado Springs is about 6,000, a little bit more than 6,000 feet in the air, right? So it's above the altitude. I don't know where Vegas is. Vegas is around 1,000, I believe.
That wraps up today's video. Don't forget to stay tuned for more updates coming your way.